Oh, you ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
She's what you call a 404B witness. In other words, out of the 50, 60 women who made accusations against Cosby, the prosecution wanted 13 to testify, but she was the only one that the court permitted to testify. And essentially, her testimony was very similar to the allegations that had been made by Ms. Constant. Kelly testified that she worked at William Morris Agency in the 1990s as an assistant to Tom Ilias. Tom Ilias was Mr. Bill Cosby's agent at the William Morris Agency in Beverly Hills. And that after Mr. Cosby met her, at some point he began to also call her at her home. She doesn't know how he got her phone number at home. She testified that he would talk to her sister, then he would talk to her. At another point, Mr. Cosby at some point began to ask her to leave her desk at William Morris and to go to another phone and then to call him. She testified that he directed her to call him. And not to tell Mr. Ilias about that. At a later point, she also testified that Mr. Cosby directed her to go to his home after work one day, which was inconvenient to her because she had a young child and she had to get child care. He directed her to bring dinner to him. He directed her to which restaurant she should get the dinner and bring it to his home. She brought it to his home, which she testified she believed was in the Pacific Palisades in California. When she arrived at his home, he was the only one at home. He asked her to participate in an acting session. She testified she didn't want to be an actress, but he had a script there, and he wanted her to participate in an acting session. She testified that she was to act drunk, and that at the end of the acting, she was supposed to embrace him and kiss him. She testified that when it came to the embrace, she was very uncomfortable. When it came to the kiss, she turned her cheek away. She testified about 6 times. She declined to kiss him. She left at a certain point. At another time, she alleges that he directed her to come to have lunch with him at the Bel Air Hotel in Bel Air, California. That she did go to have lunch with him there, but he directed her to go to his bungalow. She went to his bungalow. When she opened the door, he was in his bathrobe and slippers. He then said they were going to have lunch inside of the bungalow. Then when at another point, he said that she looked like she needed to relax, and she indicated that she didn't feel that she needed to relax. He then approached her at a certain point, put out his hand, opened his hand, and in his hand was a large white pill. He directed her to take the pill. She indicated she didn't need to take that pill. She didn't want to take that pill. He directed her to take that pill and put it in her mouth. She put it in her mouth. She did not wish to swallow it, so she testified she put it under her tongue. He then told her to open her mouth, picked up her tongue, saw that it was still there, that she had not swallowed it because she didn't want to swallow it. He told her to swallow it. She did swallow it. She alleges that she then asked if she could go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She testified she saw many prescription bottles on the counter in the bathroom. She was trying to look at them to see what is it that he had given her to take. She became very confused from the pill. She couldn't read what was on the bottles. The next thing she knows, she woke up in his bed. He was next to her. He was in back of her. She testified that her dress was down, that her breasts were out, that she could feel that her dress was up. She testified that she felt him put lotion on her hand, that he placed her hand with lotion on his genital area, that he caused her to move her hand over his genital area. And I believe that she testified that he was naked under his robe. She couldn't understand why she was there. She was very confused. Ultimately, she managed to get home. Ultimately, she overheard a conversation at William Morris and between Mr. Cosby and Mr. Ilias about the fact that she should somehow not be working there anymore. She got very upset. She went to a phone. She called her mother, told her what was about the phone call. Her mother said, go to HR. She alleges she did go to HR. Ultimately, there was a workers' comp action. She testified that in a deposition in the workers' comp action that she did talk about Mr. Cosby. I think that's a fair recap of the case. She was crying. She was very emotional as she recounted what she alleges Mr. Cosby did to her. The defense consisted of trying to attack her memory, shout at her. I think she did very well. She was very courageous.
How tough was this for her to come forward and tell her story under these circumstances?
Well, I think anybody who could have seen her on the witness stand today would know that to have to relive what she alleges that Mr. Cosby did to her was very, very difficult. And she was crying part of the time as she recollected what she says he did to her.
Is she glad this is over with? Have you chatted with her at all since her testimony?
I'm not going to comment on whether I've spoken with her today, before or after, but I will say that I was very, very proud of her. Very, very tough for her to do what she did. She was on the witness stand a very long time. I mean, from after lunch to almost the end of the court day. I mean, the only thing that happened after her all afternoon is an argument on a motion that the defense does not want her mother to testify, because apparently her mother was going to be the next witness.
Gloria, do you think that she was successful in showing a pattern of behavior? That's really why she's there to testify.
Well, that's for the jury to determine. Obviously, the point of a prior bad act witness is to attempt to demonstrate that there's an absence of consent. The whole issue in the case is, did Andrea Constant consent? Could she have consented, or was she incapacitated after Mr. Cosby gave her the 3 pills that he admits that he gave Andrea Constant? So, if the jury believes Kelly, that he also gave her a pill, that she also became incapacitated after he directed her to take the pill, that she was also sexually assaulted, if they believe that he incapacitated her, put lotion on her hand, and then caused her to move her hand up and down his penis, then there's a pattern, a plan, a scheme, a design to sexually assault. If the jury believes the witnesses that happened, and that Mr. Cosby would then know that if a woman is drugged, that she cannot consent to sexual activity after she is incapacitated by a pill. It's really for the jury, they're the finders of fact, to determine if they believe that. But that's the point of having what we call a prior bad act witness testify.
Ms. Allred, we hear that you may...
Has your client ever filed a civil suit? Has there been any civil action between Mr. Cosby and your client?
No. Kelly Johnson has not made a claim against Mr. Cosby, nor has she filed a civil lawsuit, nor does she plan to file a civil lawsuit or assert a claim.
There'd be a statute of limitations, correct?
She would not be within the statute of limitations to do so. I am litigating a civil lawsuit against Mr. Cosby on behalf of another accuser, that's Judy Huth, who alleges that she was 15 years old when she became the victim of sexual misconduct by Mr. Cosby at the Playboy Mansion, and that case is being litigated in Santa Monica. In fact, we have another court date on that in our civil case this month, later this month.
It's already Kelly's name publicly. You don't mind that her name is out there?
At this point, because she had to give her name in court, her legal name, it's okay to use her name publicly.
And she's authorized that?
I'm speaking as her attorney.
Well, let's ask, there's talk that the prosecution might want you to testify. Will that happen?
Well, I learned from a Washington Post article that I was on the potential witness list when the court, during jury selection, read my name to the jury.
Do you
Well,
wanna
we'll see
testify?
what fun and games lie ahead.
Do you want to testify, Ms. Hunt? I know they're going to fight you over
This
there.
would be, if I'm called to testify, it would be by the defense, and I will put that under the heading of be careful what you wish for.
Is it Kelly Johnson's mother who may testify, or is it Andrea Johnson's mother?
The issue that is being argued about, even as we speak, unless they've just concluded the argument, is whether or not Kelly Johnson's mother will be permitted to testify tomorrow. Or apparently the plan was to call her as the next witness after Kelly. The defense is objecting to that. So the court has indicated that both sides should file briefs on that, and that the court will make that decision in the morning.
It's already, how, I know.
I guess the defense doesn't want to hear from Kelly's mother and what Kelly may or may not have told her mother. What are they afraid of? That's my question.
Ms. Allred, as an attorney, you've been following this case since it started 18 months ago. We hear that the critical evidence is going to be Andrea Constant. You agree that how Andrea Constant goes, so goes this case?
I think all of the evidence is critical, and that includes Mr. Cosby's admissions under oath in the deposition in the civil lawsuit by Andrea Constant, that he obtained Quaaludes, 7 prescriptions for Quaaludes with the intent to have sex with women. Also critical is his interview with the police, in which he admitted back in, I think, 2004, 2005, in the police interview, that he was with Andrea Constant, that he did provide 3 pills to her, which he then said were Benadryl, that she ingested them, that he digitally penetrated her and sexually groped her, and he said that he thought it was somewhere between rejection and permission. So we'll see. I think Mr. Cosby's own words are going to be important. That was pointed out by the prosecution in their opening statement today. So I wouldn't say there's any one piece of evidence. I would say it's all of the evidence that matters. Okay. So, yeah, very brave. I admire both Andrea and my client, Kelly. It's been a very tough day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.